Bueno, perfecto. Y ahora nosotros seguimos entonces con nuestra agenda. Le dimos un tiempito extra también ahí porque estuvimos acomodando algunas cosas. Y hoy teníamos una novedad dentro de lo que son las presentaciones, ¿verdad? Y vamos a tener nuestra primera sesión en inglés, ¿verdad? Porque tuvimos un invitado que se anotó, ¿verdad? Y nos sorprendió mucho. Es un MVP que, digamos, se anotó a través del llamado de speakers que nosotros hicimos en su momento y nos preparó una sesión donde en principio iba a ser en vivo, ¿verdad? Pero justamente hoy tempranito nos escribió, tiene inconvenientes técnicos, parece que hoy es el día de los inconvenientes técnicos, ¿verdad? Así que no en vano le decíamos a los chicos, ¿verdad? Que no se preocupen porque pasa aquí y literalmente al otro lado del mundo, ¿verdad? Entonces, para salvar la situación y para no fallar con nosotros, lo que hizo fue dejarnos una grabación de lo que iba a presentar, ¿verdad? Porque tampoco quiso fallarnos, ¿verdad? Entonces aquí voy a compartir la pantalla un segundito y vamos a ver primero quién era nuestro, o sea, quién es, ¿verdad? Es más, les comento que se conectó un ratito recién, estuvo esperando y bueno, me dijo que estaba muy inestable su conexión, porque por lo menos quería dar la bienvenida y el saludo inicial. Pero bueno, es un MVP que si bien vive en Estados Unidos, ahora mismo está en la India, ahora está, no sé si creo que de vacaciones o algo así, pero nos dejó una sesión súper interesante y justamente nos dejó algo relacionado con un tema que ayer estuvimos viendo y que estuvo súper interesante también, que es todo lo que implica de repente el Power Automate y otras tecnologías que también van de la mano. Si bien siempre nos gusta hablar de Power BI, nos gusta hablar del análisis de datos puramente, ¿verdad? Realmente nuestra comunidad cubre todo lo que sean temas de Power Platform en general. Y bueno, tenemos el desafío de ir incorporando también las demás tecnologías porque ayer tuvimos la primera sesión presencial y vimos que hubo realmente un interés, digamos, bastante resaltado, ¿verdad? Con relación a lo que es el Automate. Algunas personas lo vieron por primera vez en acción, todos de alguna forma saben que existe, pero no todos tuvieron la oportunidad todavía de probarlo. Y bueno, en esta sesión vamos a buscar un poquitito, de repente también aprovechar justamente algo relacionado con ese tema. Entonces voy a compartir el video, es un video que está grabado originalmente en inglés, pero tiene los subtítulos abajo, así que no va a haber inconveniente. Y los que sepan inglés, entonces buena oportunidad para practicar también. Así que
Ahí,
hoy
como
vamos a
decía
ver el
Chris, capaz es limitante de muchos, pero ahora vamos a tener la oportunidad como de entrenarnos a la par de aprender del Power Platform.
exactamente, ¿verdad? Y justamente, a ver, ahí está. Y justamente el tema que nos deja nuestro MVP, ¿verdad? Es el de Power Automate para desktop, porque tenemos la versión en la nube, que digamos que es la más utilizada, pero también tenemos una versión para escritorio. Y esto es una presentación pensada especialmente para aquellas personas que se están iniciando, así que esperemos que sea de interés de todos los que nos están acompañando el día de hoy. Entonces volvemos a recordar, esta es una sesión grabada de unos 30 minutos, pero si tienen alguna duda, alguna consulta, lastimosamente no tenemos al disertante ahora, pero sí le podemos hacer llegar también los comentarios porque queda a nuestra disposición para lo que sea. Así que vamos con la presentación.
Microsoft MVP
Sí,
Award
sí, ya
AI
sale.
and in business applications category. So we have some IP related to the robotic process
Se
automation
escucha
is
bien,
publicly
Eliseo.
available. My company AIS has developed a white paper which talks about enterprise deployment for RPA, which is available for download for free. Following this link, and also we have a couple of courses on a training portal called Pluralsight. So whenever I do any kind of talk, I always make sure to make this statement. It doesn't matter what kind of tool or technology you're using. What really matters is what type of problem you are trying to solve. So these are the things that we're going to cover today. We'll start with what is Power Automate. I will also talk about then Power Automate for desktop. What is hyper automation? We'll spend some time talking about the Power Automate for desktops overview. We'll talk about what's attended versus unattended RPA. We'll have demos, key takeaway, and Q&A. I prefer this to be an interactive session. So if you have any questions, feel free to post those questions in the chat window. So Microsoft Power Platform is a low-code, no-code platform, and everyone is welcome to use it. And Power Automate is one of the services inside the Power Platform, and we use Power Automate to build intelligent automation. Another other services which are equally popular in Power Platform are Power BI, Power Apps, Copilot Studio, AI Builder, and Power Pages. And the low-code, no-code language is Power FX, and the underlying data service is Dataverse. So Power Automate is a really powerful service, and we have more than 1,000 connectors which we can connect. We can use to connect or implement automation, which works with variety of the products and services. Those products and services are part of Microsoft ecosystem, such as Teams, Outlook, SharePoint Online, and non-Microsoft products such as Salesforce, Google Drive, GoToMeeting, etc. And we can also build custom connectors as well. So when it comes to implementing automation using Power Automate, we can build two types of automation. One is the cloud flow, which we can use to implement automation for the API based application. And we can use desktop flows to implement automation for legacy system, which we can access using desktop or virtual machine. And cloud flows are part of digital process automation, and desktop flows are part of robotic process automation. And we have the concept of connectors in cloud flows, and we have the concept of actions in the desktop flows or RPA offering. And using the combination of cloud flows and desktop flow, we can build end-to-end automation where we implement automation across the old and the new system. No automation is complete without addition of AI services. And in Power Automate, we can use AI Builder, which is the part of Power Platform to implement AI services, or we can also use other AI services from Microsoft, such as Azure AI. We can also use AI services from other vendors such as Google, IBM, or AWS as well. So let's talk about the desktop flows, which are part of the robotic process automation offering of the Power Automate. So using the desktop flows, we can connect to a lot of legacy system, and those legacy system can be your traditional Win32 application, or it can be also a web-based application, which where we have to teach the RPA bot or Power Automate desktop app what are the steps that we need to take. And then once the bot is configured, then RPA bot then can run in the attended versus unattended mode on the Windows machine of your choice. Now that Windows machine can be a virtual machine or it can be a physical machine, and we can also use the hosted RPA hosted machine feature of Power Automate, where we offload the hosting and configuration of those VMs to the Microsoft. So we can implement RPA or the desktop for the desktop application, which can be built using Win32, Java, Citrix, SAP, AS400, and other legacy system. Or your old system can also be built using, you can be accessed using browsers like modern browsers such as Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome. If you are using any virtual desktop like the Citrix or RDP, those scenarios are also supported. So the RPA offering of Power Automate is not built completely in-house at Microsoft. Microsoft acquired a company called Softmotive, which already had a well-established product called WinAutomate as part of RPA offering. And Microsoft integrated that product as part of the Power Automate or the RPA offering. And Power Automate for desktop is a free product that is available to us. You can download it for free from Microsoft if you're using Windows 10. The latest Windows 11 or the installation are already coming pre-built with the Power Automate for desktop. Option shall we use when it comes to implementing any new automation? So the recommendation is always start with the digital process automation or cloud flows first, and see if you can implement automation using the connectors or any kind of custom connectors. If for some reason there is no API support for your legacy application, Then the next logical thing to use is the RPA. The reason for this is RPA is expensive, and RPA is also a little bit complicated to configure as compared to your traditional cloud flows or digital process automation. So in the Power Automate for desktop, we have the concept of input output parameters, where while starting the desktop flow, we can pass on some input variables, and after the execution of the desktop flow, we can also pass back the output variables as well. Uh, this is an example where we are passing, we're starting a desktop flow from a cloud flow, and while calling that, starting that desktop flow, we are passing some input variables or input parameters from the cloud flow. Uh, Since everything is built on low code, no code, we just have to drag and drop actions. And as you can see, there are many multiple actions available. More than 400 actions are there, and you can also create the custom actions as well. And each action will come with the exceptional handling scenario, where you can provide whether if any particular action is failed, and you can apply for the retries. You can see how many retries it can do, and you can also set how the interval of the retries, and you can also add some advanced setup for the exception and error handling. There are two types of RPA bots you can implement: attended versus unattended. Attended one is the where you use it for on-demand task automation, whereas unattended you use it to automate company processes at scale. Typically, to use attended, the user has to be signed on the device or machine where the RPA bot is going to run. Whereas in unattended mode, the jobs run on a dedicated machine behind the scene, and the user shouldn't be logging into that machine at all. And attended mode is available on the Windows 10 or Windows 11 machine, and you have to use additional licenses for it, which are available to you for as part of Power Automate per user license or Power Automate license. Uh, Attended mode is also available to you for free if you are using with the personal uh, account, for example, Outlook.com account or a Live.com account. So this is an example of an attended mode where a Win32 application is started on my machine, and the RPA bot is actually opened that machine and added some data to it. Where the main thing with the attended mode is the user will be watching the screen, and the automation will be happening on the user's session. In attended mode, the user couldn't be the logging into the machine, and the only way to track whether the bot's execution was successful or not using the Power Automate center, admin center. All right. With that, let me quickly give you an overview of the Power Automate desktop. So this is a free tool you have to install on a Windows machine. It can be a physical machine or a virtual machine. And since it's a part of Power Platform, once you log in, you have option of selecting which particular environment that your RPA bot should get created. If you click on the home here, you will see, Rise tutorial from Microsoft. My personal favorite is all the examples that are available. If you go in, would like to see the examples, you'll see like the examples of how to implement different kind of automation, like the desktop automation, the Excel automation, web automation, text manipulation, PDF control, scripting. All the examples are available to you. And if you have created any desktop flows before, those will be listed under My Flows. And if any other team member has created that, then if they have shared that with you, then those will be listed under Shared with Me. And you can click on a new flow. And then you can create the new desktop flow over here. So let me quickly log in, and then we can just create a new brand new desktop flow here. All right. The name is Power Platform Bootcamp, and create. So as soon as the flow is created, it will open in the edit mode, and then I can start adding the actions to it as part of my automation. You can see here in the right hand section, we have input output variables and the flow variables as well. And here in the left hand side, we have all the actions. As I mentioned, there are more than 400 actions available, and you don't have to remember the name of each and every action. For example, if you had to implement an automation related to the Excel, all I have to type is Excel, and all the corresponding actions related to the Excel will be displayed here that I can use and drag and drop into my automation. You'll be seeing there are some AI related or scenarios are also there from other vendors and from Microsoft as well. We have action for AI Builder. We have actions for IBM Cognitive Services, Google AI Services, Microsoft AI Services. Those actions are available to us. We have actions for the SharePoint, OneDrive. We have actions for OCR, date and time, keyboard and mouse. We have actions for the browsers as well. Another neat thing is you can apply the debugging, where you apply the debugger at breakpoint, and you can debug your desktop flows. So here I would like to show you a quick example of an already created desktop flow. And there is another concept available in the desktop Power Automate for desktop called recorder, where if I start the recorder and start recording the steps, then whatever steps I'm implementing on my machine, whether it involves button clicks or any kind of operation, right click, left click, opening a web page, all those steps get recorded that I can then use as part of my automation. Okay, so this is a simple example where I have a legacy application, and as soon as I launch this desktop flow will then add and automatically entry into the legacy application. So if I just click on run, so it should start a legacy application and called Contoso invoicing. It's going to go to the document entry, right click on the invoices, add a new entry, and right now it's adding all the entries from some predefined values that I already set as part of this desktop flow. And once this is added, then it's going to open another Excel file, add all the entries over there. And then once that is done, then it's going to close the Excel file and this application as well. Right now, the input parameters you see are listed here, but I can also pass that when I am actually starting this a desktop flow. So when it comes to the hosting of the desktop flow, as I mentioned, you are in charge of the virtual machine or the physical machine where robotic process automation is running. There is another option available now where you can use the hosted RPA, where we are relying on Microsoft to host the RPA. Host RPA machines for us, where we just have to provide the image, and then whenever the RPA bot is going to get executed, Microsoft will then spin up that hosted RPA machine for us, and then it will take care of the scaling, and also it has the functionality of dynamic load balancing as well. Hosted RPA comes with additional cost, and you can check the Microsoft documentation, or you can work with your Microsoft rep to find out the cost of it. One of the advantage of hosted RPA is first is you don't have to maintain those machine, and second is that you can seamlessly support the scaling of the machine up and down. One of the limitation of RPA is you can execute one RPA bot per user session in a VM. That means you cannot concurrently execute two RPA bots at the same time, and that poses a challenge when it comes to scaling the RPA bot, and that is one of the main issue that the hosted RPA is trying to solve here. So now I'm going to show you a quick demo. The scenario is a customer sends an invoices as an email attachment, and Susie needs to then open the attachment, read the content of it, and then once the content are read, then start a legacy Win32 application and do the manual data entry. So we would like to automate this entire scenario, and the trigger for that is as soon as an invoice comes as an email attachment, then we should be able to automate that process. And here to automate that, we are using the combination of Power Automate Cloudflow, Desktop Flow, and Azure AI Service to automatically extract the content from the invoices. So let me quickly show you the example for it, where I'm just going to go and send a new invoice. And I will be sending that to myself, and I will once the invoice is sent, I will show you its values. Okay, I'm gonna attach file. Okay, and this is the file I will be sending as an email attachment. And if I were to open it, this is the content of the file. It's an invoice file. It's an image, and there are multiple information is listed here. Is what's the balance due, what's the name of the vendor and how much is the amount. And as soon as the email is sent, a Power Automate will start behind the scene, and this is the Power Automate here. Let me see, make sure the connection is okay. Let me update the connection. Looks like I went through the password change, and make sure the connection is up to date. Sorry about this. Okay, let me update this as well. All right. Okay. All right. Let me just go and now open this particular uh, flow here just to make sure everything is correctly set up. All right. So this flow will start as soon as a new email will arise. And the first thing it will do is it will make a call to the Azure AI service. And then it will basically analyze the invoice and capture all the values from it. And then it will call a desktop flow. And then that desktop flow will then start. Let me make sure this is all okay. Let me fix this as well. Okay, so this is done. Perfect. And let me make sure this is running, and the connection phase and all didn't cause any problem in the execution. All right. So let me see if it's running or not. We just uploaded the attachment, so it should take a minute or two to run the flow. And if everything is working fine with the flow, then it will automatically read the content from that invoice, and then automatically will start at the desktop flow, and that desktop flow will then update the content into the legacy application. Okay, looks like it did not start. So let me just to send this email again because there was an issue with the connection. I'm just gonna do this one more time and then just wait for it to kick off. Okay, perfect. And send. All right. So we got the email. Now just wait for the cloud flow to start. And as soon as it starts, it will go through the first step of extracting the values from the invoice. And once that step is done, then it will start the RPA bot. Sometimes it does take some time for this RPA bot, this particular cloud flow to start. Just want to make sure there are no issues with this, with the flow checker. Okay, all the connections are sorted out. Okay, no issues, no warnings. So let's okay, let's see. Okay, it's just a warning regarding the premium license. And now let's go here and see if our Cloudflow has started or not. Still hasn't started, so just gonna wait for a minute. To be on the safer side, let me send another email just to make sure. Okay, and it is coming to the correct mailbox. And this time I am going to add the second attachment here. Okay, the email has been sent. By this time, it should start. Let me see if I can use this previous runs and to simulate this. Let me resubmit this and see if it goes successfully or not. If it's successful, then it will automatically, nope, it was not. Looks like it didn't like the attachment at all. So let's go and wait for the fresh run. Okay, since we update the connection, let me go and connections updated. Send and save. Perfect. Now the latest copy is there. Perfect. Now let's make sure we simulate the scenario one more time. Okay, it's running now. So the service did took some time, and now we have three flows running. So I'm just going to wait. And what you will see is the first thing it's going to do is extract the content using the Azure AI service called Document Intelligence Service from that invoice. And suddenly you will be seeing the Win32 application starting automatically. And again, I am having my hand up here just to make sure I'm not touching any keys or keyboards or mouse here. And within a few seconds, the desktop application should start. Add the new invoice information from that image, and also add the values in to the Excel file. Let me make sure it's running. Okay, now the desktop flow can start at any minute. All right, it started, and now it's automatically adding the values. And again, you can see my fingers here. It's doing everything automatically. And once this is done, it's going to call another subflow and add those values from an Excel in the Excel file. And once that is done, then it will just going to close that Win32 application. One thing you will notice is since we have three jobs running, each job will start execute one by one. Those jobs won't get executed parallelly on a single machine. That's one of the limitation of the RPA bot, whether it's an attended mode or unattended mode. Each RPA bot can get executed once per user session in a machine. So the second should start in a minute, and after that, a third should start in a minute. Okay, first one is succeeded, second one is going on. In the third one, you'll notice some new values because then for the third one, then we have used a totally different invoice altogether. All right. So second one is done as well. Okay, now the third one should start. And once that is done, then we can, I will show you the other things related to the desktop flow. Okay, third instance has started. So let it finish, and then I'll show you the few other things. So this time you mentioned that the invoices files are a little bit different. Perfect. So all the flows are ended, and if you notice, the desktop flows activities are listed in another location into the Power Automate. So I'm just going to go extend start a free trial because my trial has been expired. As you can see here, this is where you can see the desktop flow activity. And you can see like, what are some of the different activities were there, when it actually ran, which particular machine it actually ran, and those kind of things, name of the machine, the name, other stuff. Since the RPA bot get executed on your own machine, the first thing you need to do is you need to register that machine uh, into uh, into your portal. So here, if I go here, you can register various machines, and right now this is the one machine I'm using where to execute the RPA bots. And here you can have a hosted machine, or you can have hosted machine group, and there are where they can also create the machine groups, and there are all the sort of settings that you can do here. So I hope you enjoyed this talk and you learned something new. So these are the references I followed for this particular talk. And these are the reference link where you can find more information about the desktop flows, the pricing, and some related information. And in case you are interested in getting your hands dirty with Power Automate, and if you don't have access, I highly recommend you to check out Microsoft 65 Developer Program, where you have to go to this link and sign up for free for this developer program. And as part of this, you get personal Microsoft 65 developer tenant for free. With 25 licenses, each user will have e-file license, and you'll be a global admin. And using this tenant, you can sign up for some premium features such as Power Apps, Power Automate, and RPA as well. And this tenant is valid for 90 days. And after 90 days, if you're using this tenant for personal training and development, Microsoft will graciously increase the trial period for additional 90 days, and they'll keep doing it as long as this program is active. Another way to get your personal environment is to trial, but I don't recommend that option, and recommend to go with Microsoft 65 developer program. If you would like to use any kind of Azure AI services or related other Azure services, and you would like to have your own dedicated subscription, then these are the different ways where you can get your personal Azure subscription. The recommended one is to get through via MSDN, where once you have an MSDN subscription, whether enterprise or standard, and if you go to your MSDN portal, you can activate your monthly free credits. You can always sign up for the free trial. However, you do need a credit card, or you can sign up for Azure for Student, where you don't need a credit card, but you need an account from a valid EDU, a valid educational institution. And this is the link you can go to sign up for Azure for students. So hopefully the content we covered today made you explore Power Automate for desktop, and you'll go home and play with it. And if you don't have access to the Microsoft 65 tenant, definitely check out Microsoft 65 developer program. With that, we come to an end to this session. These are my contact details. Feel free to contact me in future if you have any questions or need additional information. With that, thanks for joining us today. Stay safe and stay healthy. And just let me know if you have any additional questions here.
Bien, entonces con eso terminamos esta sesión grabada, un poquito algo nuevo con relación a lo que estamos haciendo, ¿verdad? Pero en muy poco tiempo, realmente muchísima información. Y bueno, los datos de contacto de nuestro invitado que lamentablemente no nos acompañó hoy, pero aún así nos dejó muy buen material. Y un recurso que justamente me hizo recordar a lo que hablábamos ayer también cuando preguntaban también justamente sobre el Power Automate. Una alternativa para poder hacer pruebas sería este ambiente de 365 Developer, ¿verdad? Que es un ambiente gratuito y justamente, y bueno, eso permite acceder a todas estas plataformas, especialmente para las personas que no tienen cuenta de 365 y que muchas veces quieren probar, hacer laboratorio, hacer ensayos, así que acá ya hay un buen dato súper interesante también. Y un poquito más adelante comentaba algo similar también de Azure, donde se puede tener un MSDN Enterprise, que es una suscripción también, donde se puede acceder a créditos de Azure, ¿verdad? Para poder probar también todo lo que sea esta plataforma en la nube. Así que yo creo que estos datos son muy interesantes para ir probándolo. Y cuando dice crédito de $150, quiere decir que es ese monto en servicios de Azure disponible para usar lo que uno quiere. Normalmente todas estos ambientes, lo único que nos van a pedir es que no sea nada en producción o nada comercial, porque es con los fines de aprendizaje, fines de hacer ensayos, laboratorios, o mismo demostraciones también. Así que creo que toda esta parte final es súper interesante para poder explorar todo esto en el caso de que no tengamos o una suscripción de 365 o que no tengamos por alguna razón acceso a todas estas herramientas. No sé qué les pareció, bastante rápida la presentación, pero muchísima información realmente y súper interesante, yo creo que.
No, lo que decía nomás que bastante interesante también va de la mano con lo que estábamos viendo en la ponencia ayer de Guillermo. Y de por ahí, sí, es interesante esa alternativa de poder probar de forma gratuita, ¿verdad? Entonces ahí sabemos, bueno, porque estos son, de repente son con licencias más específicas, pero al ver este tipo de ponencias te dan ganas de probar, ¿verdad? Y lo bueno es que nos dan esa alternativa de hacer como una prueba de 30 días, entiendo que, y también lo de Copilot, por ejemplo, incluye eso. Entonces ayer nos dejó eso también pensando, ¿verdad? La ponencia de ayer. Y bueno, igual súper interesante, por más que haya sido video, como dijiste, esto estamos incursionando en algo nuevo, súper interesante igual lo que nos mostró esta persona hoy. Y también ahí destacar el interés que él mismo tenía en poder participar. Lastimosamente por un tema de tiempo nomás no pudimos coincidir, pero eso era súper importante, ese interés que tenía él también para poder participar. Y lo bueno es que ya está el video, eso podemos compartir también. Fuera de lo que es el video del evento o la grabación de lo que va a quedar en el evento, tenemos ese video de Prashant, ¿cómo se llama? Súper
Sí,
interesante para
totalmente.
compartir.
Y ahí dijiste algo interesantísimo también, Pame, que justo yo pensaba también algo similar en el sentido de que todos los disertantes que nos acompañaron hoy, que todavía están en agenda, que si Dios quiere van a acompañar hasta la tarde, todos se registraron de forma voluntaria, accedieron a la plataforma de Sesión y se anotaron. Y cuando se anotó este y muchos otros, inclusive también este disertante, yo dije, ¿cómo será que no habrá elegido, verdad? Porque convengamos que este evento se está haciendo en 100 países en simultáneo, pudieron haber elegido cualquier otra ubicación. Y bueno, me hubiera gustado preguntarle también eso. No creo que sea al azar, no creo que elijan porque sí nomás, ¿verdad? Y bueno, eso valoramos mucho también de todas las personas, porque todos los que estuvieron hasta ahora, Rafa, Javier, todo el equipo de Data Team, ya se quedaban como Data Team, me gustó ya su nombre, ¿verdad? Todos ellos eligieron nuestra comunidad, por supuesto también colaboran en otras comunidades, pero para nosotros es un gustazo realmente que nos hayan elegido, porque literalmente pudieron haber elegido cualquier otro país, así que el agradecimiento para todos ellos y para todos los que van a venir también a partir de ahora, ¿verdad?